Hello, my name is Anna Harmon, and today I'm presenting Roots and Grove Home Kit, a regulation system for foster youth. I want you to take a second and imagine your childhood with me. Maybe this was you. Imagine what your life was like. You had a home, routines, family, friends, maybe some toys that you really liked. But what if one night changed everything? And when you woke up, you were all alone. What would you do? My name's Anna Harmon, and I am a senior here at ICC, and I had the pleasure of serving as a foster family in my community for 7 years. Now, there's a few things I want you to understand about the foster system and CPS before we dive into our solution. CPS is a government agency mandated to investigate reports of child abuse and neglect, whereas foster care is a temporary out-of-home placement for children who cannot safely live with their parents. As of 2025, there are over 390,000 children in the U.S. foster care system, which is enough children to fill a city the size of Cleveland. The primary objective of foster care is reunification, which just means returning the child to their biological parents once it's safe. However, if that isn't possible, the system then seeks a forever home through adoption. But there's a lot of problems with the foster care system because it's frequently described as strained and overwhelmed. And what does that look like? Well, there's high caseloads, which limits the attention provided to each child. Mental health and service gaps, which means youth rarely receive the targeted evidence-based treatments they need. And high worker turnover, which means there's a lack of continuity in a child's care plan. Why does this matter? Children do not enter the foster care system because they have done something wrong. And the sudden removal and subsequent instability of moving between homes often leads to significant trauma and invisible burdens that impact a child's mental health and development. Who else is involved? There's a lot of people involved in this system, but for my solution set, we're going to focus on Tier 1, foster children and foster families. With that, I want to introduce you to my friend Emily. Emily is 36 years old, married, and has 2 of her own children. And she wants to foster because she wants to provide stability and love to these kids and believes that every child deserves safety. Now, Emily starts on her journey as a foster mom, and she gets her first placement, Miles. Miles is a great kid, but he has a lot of school appointments, therapies, visitations, a lot of logistic things that she's struggling to manage. On top of that, Miles has a lot of behavioral struggles. It can go to 0 to 100 very quickly, and she doesn't know how to communicate with him or help him when he's in those moments. She's tried everything from fidgets to existing emotional regulation kits, which are often not much than just worksheets, talk therapy, puzzles, life books, anything to help him open up, to help him regulate so that she can understand how to communicate with him better. But nothing is really working. Nothing has helped her, and she just feels more alone and unsupported by the system. Now, Miles is 7 years old. He was only 3 when he was removed from his birth home, and he's experienced a lot of disruption and instability in his life. From being removed from his birth home when he was 3, all the way through 2 other pre-existing foster placements that were terminated for various reasons, Miles is stuck in this cycle where he is being re-traumatized, and it just deepens his struggles with physical violence, hypervigilance, sleep disruption, and PTSD. So he struggles with opening up to Emily and learning how to communicate and regulate himself. Now, for Miles and kids like Miles, if they are to continue in this path of foster care and eventually age out of the system, there's a lot of statistics around what could happen. So 25% of these kids experience homelessness and incarceration after aging out. 25% of them struggle with PTSD. 50% will be unemployed by age 24, and only 50% of them graduate high school, compared to the 70 to 80% of their peers that will be graduating. And on a whole, there's about 20,000 kids who turn 18 to 21 without being adopted or reunified and age out of the system every single year. And when kids age out, we lose track of them. But what if we could provide support within the first 24 to 48 hours of a placement? That's my proposal for this project. A child-centered, portable, trauma-informed regulation system designed for children in foster care to support them across transitions and placements by providing fast-acting regulation, emotional understanding, self-security, and opportunities for bonding with caregivers. Now, this project specifically focuses on the 6 to 8 year age gap, but can be used by kids outside of that as needed. So how does it work? This is a 4-part system, and we're going to start at the root. So the first product is for fast-acting regulation and grounding. The second product is for emotional regulation when frustration arises and emotional understanding. The third product is for comfort and self-security in motion or stabilizing comfort during the day. And the final product is the canopy of our system, and it's for expression and bonding with caregivers. So the first item in our kit is Tubi. Tubi is the grounding comfort aid for children and the root of our system. Kids need physical comfort objects, especially at nighttime or for nighttime transitions, because if a child cannot sleep or rest, they cannot regulate the next day. So some experiences to help with that are temperature, weight, pressure, and movement to help that child ground themselves. Now, something that makes this plushie different than other weighted stuffed animals is the implementation of buzzers. Buzzers are used in EMDR therapy and is a rising treatment for PTSD. So not only can this tool be used at home for a kid to comfort themselves, but it can also be used by a therapist during talk therapy to administer EMDR. Over the course of my project, I was able to conduct user testing on each of my prototypes and get feedback from kids and professionals in different sectors of this problem to better understand how I can serve them with this idea. One of the biggest pieces of feedback for Tubi was adding educational tapping zones to the stuffed animal's body to teach kids more about self-soothing. So this is the concept for what Tubi could look like. It has buttons on the paws to activate the buzzers, as well as a zipper pouch to remove the buzzers to make him better machine washable. He has fabric patches on his face to teach kids about tapping and regulating themselves, so under the eyes, under the ears, and top of the head. Tubi also has a Velcro heart on his chest so that he can interact with other items in our kit. Tubi has a series of zippers and pouches all over his body where the weighted bags are stored and can be removed to be microwaved or put in the freezer, again for different temperature experiences. He also has an extra pouch in his tail where kids can put toys or store sentimental items that they want. Like I said, Tubi is safe and machine washable, and his shell can be air dried as well. The second product in our kit is Squishy. Squishy is the emotional processing tool because kids have a very difficult time articulating emotions, and especially for kids with trauma, violent dysregulation is how they express themselves. So this is a tool to help them get the frustration and anger out of their bodies, but then also limit the amount of guilt or shame they feel around destroying something because they can put it back together. It also allows kids to have a sense of control, which eventually gives them the sense of safety because they can decide how they want to tear him apart, how they want to put him together, and also how they want to express themselves through this toy. This was the kids' favorite toy to experiment with. They loved just ripping him apart and putting him back together in different configurations, as well as playing with his different face panels, which they suggested adding ways to make expressions even more customizable. So instead of making it one face panel, there were multiple icons or layers or things that they could shift around and Velcro to different parts of his body. So with that, this is Squishy. This is the concept for this plush. He has a secret pouch in his stomach where they can store the extra parts and limbs, as well as face patches, so it doesn't get scattered or lost. He actually breaks apart into 15 different pieces and can be configured in so many different ways. He has a series of face patches, which can be put on the Velcro on his face or anywhere else there's Velcro on his body. And they can create fun expressions or communicate how they're feeling, or maybe how different, how their arm is feeling, how their stomach is feeling, so that they don't have to use as many words and they can use visuals instead. And like I said, Squishy can be taken apart and put back together in so many different ways. And it's really up to the child to put him together the quote unquote right way or the wrong way, however they're feeling that day. Squishy is also machine washable, but I wanted kids to have a different sensory experience when they handled Squishy. So he is filled with poly pellets and fiberfill instead of memory foam like Tubi, so that there's more feedback when he is punched or kicked, and they can interact with him a little bit differently. They know which toy is for which response. The third item in our kit is Velo. Velo is for supportive mobility, and it helps with sensory input because it's a weighted poncho, which helps the nervous system. Deep pressure items like weighted blankets and softer textures help kids ground and regulate. And because it's a poncho, it means that they don't have to sit still in order to have that grounding experience. They can keep moving, they can play outside, they can go to visitations, school even, and keep moving through their day, but still feel safe and comforted. The feedback I received on this product from the kids and from professionals was around adding some built-in textures or removable inserts or fidgets inside the pockets so the kids have something to play with or fiddle with while they're sitting still. So this is the concept for the Velo poncho. It also has a series of embroidered patches, which we'll talk about later, but he's reversible and able to switch inside and out whatever the child chooses in that moment. I mentioned Velo has removable inserts. They are going to be silicone based and different textures or feelings. So we have poppets versus a spinny gear, switches, and then just silicone bumps that they can rub their fingers on. Velo has seams and pockets inside the shoulder panels where weighted bags can be placed, and it's fun because it can be interchanged with Tubi's weighted bags to make an item lighter or heavier depending on what the child wants. It also comes with a series of patches to represent each item in the kit. So the first patch represents Squishy with his little platypus foot, Velo with the wave. The third patch is our fourth item in our kit, which we'll discuss in a minute. And then the last patch is for Tubi. And then this is the reversible side of Velo. So it's a little more fun, a little more playful, and they can imagine that they are also like a butterfly and they can fly around and have fun. Here's an exploded view of Velo. Again, machine washable and safe for kids to wear, very durable. The final item in our kit is the Grow and Tell box. This is for expressive bonding, and like I mentioned at the beginning, is that canopy of the whole kit. This is the crowning item. So it emphasizes that relationships come first, especially with kids who have trauma. They need to know that their caregivers see them and want to care for them. Plus, storytelling is how kids process information, memories, emotions, so this is the best place to communicate with them. Part of the prototyping and user testing process for this kit was figuring out what kind of sand to use, how to use sand, and how to make this a more unique version of a sand tray, which is another therapy tool that child psychologists use to interact with kids. And part of that was adding an indented center to the surface so that the sand would stay inside, and a lid to keep the sand contained. And this is the Grow and Tell box. Now, it emphasizes the leaves, again, because it's a canopy item. And it basically works similar to Magnetile. So it has a series of magnets that help all of the leaf trays connect to the base, as well as the prompt card and character cover. And characters, honestly, fit into the lid. This sand tray comes with a series of characters, 12 to be specific. And the first 4 in this kit represent each of the items in our kit. So the first character at the very bottom is Velo, then we have Tubi, then Squishy, and then our grow and tell box represented as a little house. The characters around these items, the ones in the second row, represent people and a tree, and then we have bridge, a car, a bed, and a dragon, just again to represent icons that a child will see commonly in their life, and then also some to represent imaginative figures. So the thing that sets this sand tray apart from other sand trays that a therapist might have in their office is the prompt cards. So this just allows a child to play on their own or to play with a caregiver and peers and kind of build a guided world or guided story. There are 3 types of cards: building cards, feeling cards, and together cards, all of which help a child process conflict resolution, problem solving, and working together skills and stories. This is the kit unfolded, and you can see the leaves are attached to the base, and there's 4 trays, so you can actually have multiple kids playing at a time or have multiple caregivers interacting with the child and playing with this story together. I chose to use kinetic sand for this kit, not only because it's easier to clean up, but it's also cheap to replace if it's inexpensive to replace if necessary. And with that, this is the Roots and Grove home kit. Now let's check in on Miles and see how he's doing. Miles is in his bedroom and he's in distress. He's very frustrated, he's overwhelmed, he doesn't know what to do. He sees his Roots and Grove backpack and he reaches for it. And the first item he pulls out is Tubi. Tubi helps him ground himself, he's comforting, and he's able to regulate enough to pull out Squishy, who he then rips apart and puts back together to help him process his emotions and figure out how he's feeling. The next item he pulls out is Velo, and he puts on Velo, and he feels a little bit more comfortable to go downstairs and see what Emily's doing. When he finds Emily, he asks if she wants to play with his grow and tell box with him. She says yes, and they're able to build a story together, and Emily learns about how Miles' day went. At the end of the day, Miles feels more grounded, comforted, and understood by his caregiver, and he is not in distress anymore, so he's really happy. My capstone project could give children in the foster system the tools they need for fast-acting regulation during stressful moments, emotional understanding, self-security, and opportunities for bonding with caregivers. I'd like to give a special thank you to everyone on this list, specifically for their time and effort and all of the interviews and conversations we had pouring into this project. I really appreciate it, and this project would not be possible without them. And with that, this is the Roots and Grove home kit. Thank you so much for your time and for watching this video.